All right, and now interim town manager report.
We remained with a vacancy for which we're accepting applications for the administrative assistant position in the assessing office and an assistant to the sewer business manager. We have conducted interviews for network administrator and are reviewing those candidates over the next few days. We do have a candidate for sewer business manager interviewed by the DPW director and several members of the sewer commission, and that candidate is being presented tomorrow night for ratification to the sewer commission. The town manager position, as you've just learned, was posted on the MMA site today, and we'll make some additional postings tomorrow along with on our website, along with posting the position of the Council on Aging Director. I may have been putting it off because I kept hoping if we didn't post it, maybe Sue would stay, but that's not going to work out. We are preparing the process and schedule for posting the police chief position, which we'll bring to you within the next 2 weeks. I want to thank Dave Passios for his passionate service to the Finance Committee, which has now ended with his resignation effective September 30th. The chair signed a letter of thanks to him. And I also want to wish Evan Waters well and give him thanks for his service and leadership on the Finance Committee, which ended with his resignation effective October 8th. The Finance Committee appointing committee will meet next Tuesday to consider candidates for appointment to the FinCom. With the untimely passing, I know this has been a little bit, but I've just learned about it. The untimely passing of Mr. Robert Conroy. We remain with a vacancy on the Library Board of Trustees. In memory of Mr. Conroy, the Library Board of Trustees has started a collection and will donate to the Friends of the Lunenburg Public Library, and they plan to create a small garden, interior garden outside the meeting room in his memory. So we have some positions vacant on the Agricultural Commission. I know they'd love the help to make sure that next year's event happens again. The Architectural Preservation District Commission, Board of Health, the Conservation Commission, Cultural Council, and I believe it's grant time in many communities this time of the year. The Finance Committee that we've just spoken about, the Green Communities Committee, Historical Commission, Library Board of Trustees, Master Plan Steering Committee, and we have tasked Mr. Riley, the new Land Use Director, with trying to reinvigorate that process and get that back on track. Public Access Cable Committee, Zoning Board of Appeals, and the Stormwater Task Force, which I embarrassingly left off this list. With respect to procurement, there wasn't a quorum last week for the Historical Commission, but we hope that they will be able to convene tonight to award the contract for the Lunenburg Historic Properties Survey. We do have the bids and have awarded the contract for the library exterior paint project, and we're collecting all of their documents, performance bonds and the like to execute that. DP Salt contracts, we're in that cooperative with Shrewsbury that I think you're aware of. One of the two contracts is fully executed, and the other has been simply awaiting the vendors. We have the proposals for the tree cutting services due this week, and we've not received any questions on that scope of work to date. And today and yesterday, we had several walkthroughs for bids that are due on October 23rd. We had 3 contractors appear to review the DPW floor. That's a blasting and a new epoxy where it's been damaged by the salt and the drainage and such off the trucks. We had 1 contractor show up as scheduled to look at the DPW roof. 1 showed up unscheduled. He'll have to bring his drone, but that does happen. We didn't have a walkthrough on the sewer manhole. That's simply a set of specs, but I have suggested that in the future, they still have a pre-bid conference, so contractors can come in and just ask any questions that they might have. The Municipal Building Design Committee went live today. Proposals are due November 4. The library teen room goes live tomorrow, and the town hall roof and chimney bids go live tomorrow. We've been trying to keep both Mr. Ritter and Ms. Bellevue busy. Coming down the pike yet, Ritter Building, that'll be 2 packages as we're currently breaking it out. One for the roof gutters and trim, and then the windows. We've spoken to you about the likelihood of actually being able to fully fund the project, but we'll break it in the packages and see where it lands. And that's also that sort of safety valve we've talked about on the ARPA of, as that gets closer. The staff did meet and work with Finance Director Julie, myself, and the IT folks on the RFP for payroll services. That's not on a state vendor list, so that does have to go out for an RFP. That may delay startup from January 1, where we'd originally thought we might be able to do it, to April 2nd. I try never to do anything on April Fool's Day. But to miss that first quarter, so we've got a clean transition to the extent that we can. The award of the data collection services and the, I'll double check with council tomorrow, but the 925 Mass Ave RFP's been with council for review for about a week or so now. So we'll double check on that tomorrow. We'd like to move that along. I did attend the Board of Assessors along with the Finance Director and Town Council. Mr. Alonso, as their liaison, was present. We explained the segregation of duties, the statutes and the charter with respect to the authority of both, and the timeline for the revision to this new financial procedure. They did have some concerns, and I understand some of those, and I've asked the Finance Director to begin to develop. It'll be pretty straightforward. It's not a long process, but I just want him to chart out a workflow process so we can submit that to the board and see what they have questions, and then we'll get them the next piece. We got 6 months or so to do this, and we want to bring them along a step at a time. To my embarrassment and regrettably, I missed the meeting of the Budget Task Force last night. We did want you to know that Governor Healy has announced the formation of the Neshoba Valley Medical Center Working Group. That's quite a name. Representative Scarsdale's been active in advocating for the community and has responded to the letter that we sent. And we'll keep you posted as that develops. We don't have any further word from the state on that initial press release that they sent that triggered the letter we brought before you. But at least having I think this is a good step forward, making us a touch more comfortable that someone's listening beyond just the representative and the delegation. We'd like you to know that the proposed amendments to the SAP were circulated to all the relevant parties as Julie deemed that. It went out to 80 plus or minus folks for review. Intervening events today kept us from reviewing some of the comments that we received. We did receive a few comments on them, but we'll get that done tomorrow as I meet with the Finance Committee Thursday evening. We did send you a draft warrant that will evolve a little bit yet, but if you could get me your comments, concerns, questions, I would appreciate that as I'm meeting with the Finance Committee Thursday night. I'm going to stay here and do that physically. I just think that's more effective than phoning it in from
Did you email it to
house.
us?
Yes, and I'll,
Maybe like last week or something like that.
I must have missed
I
it.
can forward it to you after.
Yep, thank
well,
just in case.
we've got we've got a few more tweaks as a result of the last day or two of reviews. We met with Mark Terry on the SAP yesterday. We are hour and a half or so. There's a few things that came out of that. My apologies, just that intervening event that
Understood.
took our eye off the ball a little bit. But we'll get that out to you by noon tomorrow. Okay. And at that point, I believe that's, unless there's any questions on anything, the best I can tell you.
None for me.
None from
Any
me.
questions or comments?
No.
Nope.
All right, thank you very much, Carter.